Hey guys, so this is Brianne, the people engineer. I wanted to kind of take time and share with you all some things that I have actually been presenting on and talking about lately. As you know or should know at this time, I am the people engineer. I'm the founder of BCM Engineered Solutions, all kinds of really good, fun stuff through nonprofit activities as well as Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, Women in Manufacturing, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and Latinas in STEM. So I'm really excited to kind of help share information that I've learned through these great organizations, as well as stuff that I've kind of learned in my own experience and kind of shared throughout these organizations as well. So again, I'll just kind of dive right in. This is me, Brianne C. Martin. I have my Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. And so today's topic is really cool and fun and exciting because I kind of wanted to talk about, again, the stuff that I've been presenting on. And so essentially, I go and present, just kind of essentially my life and kind of my engineering trajectory, my career, what I've been doing, how I got there, so on and so forth, and kind of share my own story intertwined. But based off of that, I almost kind of give hints and nuggets of information as to how I expect people to follow through. I've been incredibly happy with a lot of the responses I've gotten from a lot of the students that have followed up from either my college visits or presentations I've given through, again, one of those organizations I started off the presentation with. But essentially, it was just really cool. And I kind of wanted to highlight and kind of showcase, again, the right way to do follow ups or even how to network and kind of get going with all of that. So my engineering life, essentially, again, how do you follow up? How do you get jobs? How do you even talk to a professional for all you students that are kind of newer? You're kind of like, well, how the heck do I even do this? So first, different types of skills that they don't kind of talk about or touch on or even really teach you in engineering school is to have people skills, emotional intelligence. I just kind of created a list here of stuff that I've recognized that I need to be successful in my career. And again, that I kind of found out the hard way. Problem solving, critical thinking, the bottom left corner, it's actually stuff that we do in every class, but we're not made aware of it. It's just more of, you're solving for X or what's going to be the temperature at the end of that thermo problem. And so again, even just simultaneous engineering, the actual people skills, soft skills of being able to be a manager and hold people accountable, and even to be able to communicate effectively and to give presentation skills. So again, I just kind of wanted to highlight this because it definitely all plays into whenever you get into this. So how do you actually do it, right? I'm all about actual doing work versus just hearing a presentation and seeing pretty slides. So one is networking. It is so important to network. If you don't have a network or even someone that's higher in rank than you, whether or not you actually want to be that position or you want to, follow their career, it's an opportunity for you to learn. And so that's actually the first bullet, right? Opportunities. You never want to be the smartest person in the room, and if you are, you're not paying attention. So always be surrounded by people that are kind of the next step or even a few steps ahead of you, because then that you can kind of seek mentorship, any kind of advice, kind of even watch and observe. You don't even have to have a personal relationship, but just someone that you can follow and look up to. Again, essentially kind of an informal role model, if you will. Have goals. Whenever you're networking, like what are you looking for? What are you hoping to get out of it? And then whenever you're networking, whether you're going to an event or you're trying to reach out to people on LinkedIn, like how do you know whether or not you're doing successful or well? Is it that, they give you information in a message? Are you wanting to get a phone call? Are you wanting to meet someone in person? Just kind of having a gauge as to whether or not you've been successful or that you're failing pretty bad at what you're trying to do. Again, to have that gauge, now you can start evaluating your approach. Oh, maybe I shouldn't try to contact people through Facebook. Maybe LinkedIn isn't, working for me. Maybe I should go to try to do in-person events, so on and so forth. Expectations. This is kind of a big one. People just go to networking events, like, oh, I'll meet some people there. If you have an idea, like, hey, I want to meet, anywhere from 3 to 5 good people, or if you can leave the event and say, man, I met one good person that was worth my time, then you actually have a better chance of walking away satisfied versus you just showing up and you kind of stood in the corner, maybe had a drink or two, or, just kind of talked to some random person and it just wasn't really a connection. But versus if you're going with an expectation of, oh, I want to get something out of it, even if it's just a new friend or someone with an, insight or enlightening information, then you can kind of know what you're going into and then have a better expectation. And then even why, like, why do you have that set expectation? Are you looking to, network just in general and meet people? Or are you networking because you're looking for a job? Are you networking because you need advice? You want a mentor and you don't even know where to start? So you're just kind of starting again with surrounding yourself with people that are kind of next level. So again, just knowing your why really helps and makes a huge difference. Practice. This is so huge. I can't even begin. And again, I'll tell all my students like randomly talk to the person in line at the library, or like randomly start a conversation with someone you're waiting on the elevator with for your dorm, or anything just in general. Because yes, it may be nerve-wracking and you don't know that person and they may think you're kind of weird. But essentially, if you're just practicing, or even standing in line at Starbucks, like that's huge. You're getting used to talking to strangers, and it's not as scary, the times coming up. So, be authentic, be yourself. That's kind of when most people are really excited to kind of get to know you. And then professionalism, so have business cards done. And if you don't, actually, that was the next slide, create business cards. And you're thinking, well, Brianne, like I don't work for a company, I don't even have a title. That's okay. One, you don't have to actually just collect it, or ask for it. You actually have to get to know the person. So don't just go handing out these business cards anyway. It's not like, your magic power to see how many, business cards you can get out. Just be mindful of, once you get to know a person, you're like, oh, I'd like to be able to follow up with you, or hey, would you mind, I'd like to give you my contact information. Then it's kind of that request, to kind of take it to the next level to continue communication forward. Quite honestly, write 3 or 4 things that you learned about the person on the back. You want to make sure that you're being cognizant of the person you're meeting, pay attention to what they're saying. Don't just talk about yourself, but actually listen. And so even write out physical cues to remind yourself. Example is, I met this person with a purple shirt. It was the first person I met walking through the doors, or, but then it's a kind of, again, mental cues to remind yourself, because maybe you end up walking away with 20 business cards at the end of an event. Writing all out of these cues, it's really crucial to the follow-up, which I'll get to next. But then even that, now you actually have something to tie this person to, and whether or not, again, how they were a fit for you or they weren't, or maybe they'll have different resources that you didn't even think about going in. Write each event, or even where you met this person. Again, if you have them on your person or always have them in your wallet, you could easily hand someone your card at, again, a Starbucks, a library, or wherever you're at. And so just being able to hand out your card and then even write on the back of theirs, or maybe even your own, and with their information, and kind of say at this event I met this person, so on and so forth. And in more to detail, the better. Format, make sure that it's clear and clean. This is a perfect example on the right hand side. It has his name, kind of what they're looking to do or interested in doing, specialty. Make sure if you have a skull logo, or even your major identified, that's a big plus. Most of your career centers at colleges actually offer, I don't know if it's like the first free 10 or 50, but usually they'll offer like student services, or in career fairs, or career services, whatever your school calls it. But there's usually an area or a group or department that are there to kind of help with, mock interviews, help you get, again, your first free handful of business cards. And so they'll actually do those for you, or you can utilize their information. Name, number, email, LinkedIn. This is a way, obviously, for them to contact you. Again, the bottom right side corner of that pictorial shows it perfectly. It does have an address on there, but I would highly discourage you to put an address, because let's just say, for example, I live in Dallas, Texas, but if I'm applying for a job in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, if I have my address in Texas, the company is almost kind of deterred from considering me because I say Texas on my business card or my resume. So, they don't need to know that I'm going to try to, live with a friend or with my cousin that lives up there. So a lot of times being ambiguous with your address, if you're willing to relocate or move, is really good, because then again, once they love you, fall in love with you, and give you the offer, then you can start kind of considering, oh, I'm, looking to move. Would you be willing to offer a relocation? But again, that's a whole nother day. a lot of information for a whole nother day. So the follow-up, essentially think of it as a relationship, right? Flattery goes far, and I will show you guys examples in a few minutes, but just if you could tell them, man, I was really impressed, or I love the shirts you had, or everything you said was really insightful, it really moved me, or hey, I really enjoyed our conversation, would you be willing to give me more, kind of stuff. And just kind of think again, treat it like a relationship, right? If you tell someone, oh my gosh, I think you're so pretty, or you're so handsome, or man, like, you rock, you're really cool, I'd like to hang out with you more. It's a lot more, again, one, authentic, and then two, kind of, again, showed that you paid attention to details. And that's what really means a lot to people, is that you're actually listening to them and you got to know them at a certain level, even if it was just a 5-10 minute conversation. Professionalism, remind them of the connection. Thank them for their time, their advice, as I mentioned earlier. And have a clear follow-up or an ask. Again, whether it's not you want to meet for coffee or you want to learn more about what it means to be a manufacturing engineer, so on and so forth. But if you have a clear ask, it's not ambiguous as to like, okay, what exactly are they asking for? Like, oh, I'd like to stay in contact with you. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's great, but it kind of leaves it ambiguous. And again, if you think of it as a relationship, nobody likes to not have it defined, where's this going or what's it going to mean. Handwritten notes or cards, and something super simple, very few people do anymore. You see the thank you cards at the stationaries at, Walmart or wherever, but a handwritten note means a lot to people. One, because people don't take the time to do that anymore. And then two, again, if it's obviously past an interview or something that you met and it really meant a lot to you, for you to take the time to send them a note, really makes a difference. And you can even just look them up in your company and address it to them, whatever company they worked for. Again, the address on their business card. Something as simple as that makes a huge difference. So now to the fun part. Really cool, fun examples. And these are totally just recent. I mean, you see November 15th on there. But I got this message. Hello, Brianne. It was a pleasure meeting at UTA today. I gave a presentation on behalf of the company I'm working for. I really enjoyed hearing you speak and learned a lot. I will be graduating in May 2018, and I'm currently looking for an entry-level position. It would be great if we could connect here on LinkedIn. So again, it was a very clear cut. It was, again, he like flattered me saying, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. Really enjoyed what you said, learned a lot. So they're telling me that obviously I added value to their life. And then again, just a quite simple ask like, hey, FYI, I'm graduating soon. I'll be looking for an entry level position. And again, he didn't straight up say, would you help me? He didn't say, I'm looking for manufacturing. He just said, would it be good? It would be great if we could connect on here. So obviously he's saying he'll be looking for a position soon. Maybe after he learns more about me or, makes up his mind as to what he wants to do, it can kind of go from there. So again, that's a really good example of clear cut to the point. And again, I accepted it and now we're connected on LinkedIn. Number two is, hello, Brianne. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with friends and family. So again, a very personal note. That was this Monday. I wanted to ask you for your advice. I'll be graduating with a bachelor's degree in biomechanical engineering, or biomedical, sorry. I would love to work in manufacturing. Again, I gave a presentation that I was a manufacturing engineer at his school. And I really liked, how you expressed about the company that I work for. It sounded like a family. What would be steps I need to take in order to work as an engineer at said company? And it says I want to learn as much as I can and be more broad in the engineering field to be well-rounded. And so again, you can see the clear ask, the clear want, the clear like, hey, this is how you can help me. And again, it was very personal. I will say that this actually came through Facebook. And so it was good that this was the first type of communication because it was, again, straight off the bat an ask. He sent this message and then sent a friend request. So then it was just kind of that opportunity to kind of, again, treat it like a relationship. Once they sent, hey, this is the clear message. I'd like to learn more from you. It's just that opportunity to, again, kind of move forward. So again, this was really great, clear cut. But the last one was actually my absolute favorite. And this was sent Wednesday of last week. Again, it was at 8 o'clock at night, so it wasn't too late, wasn't too early. And that's something too. I don't know if the times, yeah, 1:45, and this one was 12:53. So if you notice again these times with all three of them, they're actually during like business hours, which is most preferred. Do not send messages past 9 or 10 p.m. That's very unprofessional. You have to think people are spending time with their families or getting ready for bed. So again, just when you try to keep it within daylight hours, if you will, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to again maybe like 8 or 9. Maybe 10 again would be pushing it. So again, this one is 8 o'clock at night, definitely very respectful. And so this one says, hey, Brianne, sorry for the informal approach. To me, it's kind of, again, a hey versus the apology for informal. At least he's acknowledging it. But I just wanted to thank you for coming out to speak to us yesterday. I can truly say that you have changed my mindset in a super positive way. So again, major flattery points there. I really appreciate it and hope one day I am successful enough to be a role model to students as you are to many. I just wanted to get in contact with you to see if there's some contact with biomedical engineers to see if you could help with our BMES club. Let me know how you would like to message my email, and he included his email if you would like to respond to that. Again, thanks a bunch. So again, they're just giving me an option like, hey, I understand, messaging me on Facebook was a little informal. If you'd like to send me an email, we can communicate that way as well. But again, giving the option to be professional, acknowledging, hey, I know this is informal, but and then again, a clear ask. this is what I want from you. Again, there was major flattery, right? You really helped me. You changed my mindset. Again, letting people know that they're adding value to you or your life makes a huge difference. And again, just being able to follow up very clearly and concisely. You saw none of them wrote me like these massive paragraphs or their novel about their life. It was just clear, straight to the point, and then had a simple request. So staying in contact, the rule of three, and it's very simple, kind of the follow up to all of this, right? So there's 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months. So after you meet someone, you don't want to wait any longer than 3 days. Like 3 days should be the max. I personally am pretty bad about this because, again, I walk away with 20 business cards, and then I try to do, like one a day to kind of pace myself instead of, sitting there writing 20 emails. I want it to be personal and authentic, and I tend to start writing the same thing over and over again if it's just kind of that repetitive. So again, 3 days, 3 weeks. After you talk to them for 3 days and you've again whether set up that appointment or you have met with them for coffee, follow up with them 3 weeks after that. So the second follow up should be 3 weeks later. Hey, just wanted to thank you again for your time. It was great talking to you or again seeing you. And then again, very follow the same rules, right? Again, of flattery, paying attention to details. What you liked, what you didn't like, or even like what you'd like to learn further or find more questions about. A lot of times, a lot of people will say, hey, you mentioned, again, something in manufacturing, the Society of Automotive Engineers. Is there a way you could send me a link? Or, what was your favorite article lately? And again, now you're starting to create that relationship with that person and show that you're really paying attention. And then again, 3 months after you kind of had this, wooing them or wooing them, sorry, and kind of building that relationship. 3 months later, you want to be able to focus on again a follow up. Hey, I thought of you. Hope you're doing well. How was that book that you said you were going to work on, or that goal that you were shooting for, and just kind of give a mini update. This is what's going on with me. I ended up getting that internship, or I moved somewhere, or I passed thermo, or whatever the case is, to kind of just keep going and again kind of keep that relationship going. So again, hopefully this was really helpful or supportive. If y'all have any comments, questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Brianne C. Martin. I go by the People Engineer. My personal website is briannecmartin.com. Feel free to like, subscribe on my YouTube channel and or here on Facebook. So another great resource is shipdfw.org. I know we recently just posted 2 of our webinars on the YouTube channel for like the SHIP Region 5 information. So again, by all means, I have that stuff on my personal website. Again, just a bunch of different resources. If you guys have any questions or comments, again, please drop them in the comment section and let me know if there's any comments or topics or any questions you guys have in particular that you'd like for me to answer or cover. Please let me know. Just wanted to make sure again that this was something that I saw really fun and engaging. I was even posting them as I was getting these feedbacks on my Instagram feed and saying, man, I love that, when students actually do the follow up right. And then I actually got a request to kind of share those and kind of what that looks like. So by all means, again, please let me know if there's any way I can help. That's what I'm here for. Again, Brianne C. Martin as a People Engineer, signing off. Thanks.